And so I'll give an opportunity to say, submit your questions so that I can put them in the presentation. And it always surprises me. I get specific questions about sales, specific issues to handle, specific topics to handle. And more often than not, it's because someone isn't asking the right questions. So they're trying to answer a question that wasn't asked. And so the answer is not well received. That's when you come across as selling. You're not helping or assisting. You're just selling. You're just pushing. And so it's interesting to me. It all starts with asking the right questions for yourself. Where are we going? How do we get there? What are we trying to accomplish? And so I put these entire presentations together and these programs together, and we work with companies to inspire their team, to motivate them. And once they see the light bulb go off, and it's like, oh my gosh, I was off track. I was hunting on this path when I needed to be hunting on this path over here. And it's just that magical light switch that goes off, and then instantly they realize, oh my gosh, that's what these people have been asking me all along. And so I start with asking the right questions of yourself, knowing those answers. One of the questions I get a lot, and I get this from salespeople all over the country, sales managers all over the country, is my salespeople wanting a script as they're getting started to keep them on topic, to keep them on point, to give them answers to the questions. And I said, no, I loathe sales scripts. You know why? There's one reason I hate sales scripts. There's one reason I've never wanted to do it. There's one reason I've never done it. There's one reason I've never pushed for it or advocated it or really even talked about it much. Because I just don't even want it on the top of people's minds. It's because of this one simple thing. Okay, so you write a script. Your salespeople have it, and you drive that home, and they have canned answers to canned questions, and they're gonna push those sales, and they're gonna close those sales, and they're gonna inspire those customers, and boy, we're gonna see untold success and riches. Wrong. The reason for that, I joke, but the reason for that is because your customer doesn't have the script. Your customer didn't get a copy of that script, and so you can try to anticipate the questions that they're going to ask you. But you have to realize customers are asking you questions from their own experience, from their own issues, from their own challenges, from their own goals, from where they want to go. Okay? And so as we go through, these processes of sales training and trying to motivate and inspire salespeople, it doesn't matter if we inspire them down the wrong path. So let's work on asking the right questions and giving the right answers to the right questions, answering the questions that are asked. And so when we talk about a sales script, you say the customer says, can you do this? And you have a canned answer. Yes, we can. And you never stop to ask the question, and I do this so many times. I've trained so many sales reps over the years, and it's such a subtle thing, but it makes such a world of difference. Ask yourself, why did that customer just ask me that question? And I can tell by the looks of some of your faces, like, you've never thought to yourself. I used to sit in customers' offices when I was in sales. I would sit in customers' offices, and they would ask me a question, and it was so funny because I would get the same questions over and over and over. Everybody had sort of the standard answers. The ones that would throw you for a loop were the sort of standard questions of who you are and what you do and some about your services or whatever. Never really in-depth questions. It's more of the introductory sort of stuff. Okay, I would get a direct question of, can you get my product here in 24 hours? I would stop right there and say, well, first off, I want to know the story of who wasn't getting it here in 24 hours, and then we can talk about it. Because somewhere along the way, someone was falling short. So I want to see how I'm better than the competition. I want to address the issue that caused that, because it doesn't do any good to say, hey, I can get your product here in 24 hours if we're not addressing the root cause. Because you know what? If they didn't believe the last guy, you're sitting there in this client's office, this potential customer's office for a reason. And you have to remember that. They're not just there to waste time. They're not filling out a call report of, oh my gosh, I had 18 sales reps that came to see me today. Look at this giant stack of cards that I got. Purchasers don't get paid that way, right? You got to realize this, right? I mean, salespeople can do the creative writing projects of filling out their call reports. Oh yeah, so 20 people this week. Look at me go. And it doesn't matter if you don't get the end of the month numbers. And I see Bill laughing over there. It doesn't matter if you don't have the numbers at the end of the month. Well, for purchasers, they're not just sit there to entertain people all day long. You're there for a reason. Value that time. Okay? They're talking to you for a reason. And we can talk about gatekeepers. We can talk about all that sort of stuff. But when you get in that office, you were there for a reason. Okay? You're already validated. And you're there to answer their questions. You're being interviewed. And you have to remember that. When they say, hey, can you get my product here in 24 hours? They didn't ask you about quality. They didn't ask you about service. They didn't ask you about price. They didn't ask you about anything other than time. Okay? That should be an instant clue for you that there was a big problem in the past. Big problem. They're looking for a specific solution. You betcha we can get here in 24 hours, but I really want to know why. I really want to know what's happened. What have you struggled with before? What's causing this before? Is it because you're changing orders? Is it because they're just slow? Is it because they didn't anticipate? Because I guarantee you, here's how you change that. Here's how you change that conversation entirely. Someone says, hey, can you get my product here in 24 hours? And you say, you know what? I'd like to know the process here. Yes, we can. And we can do any number of things in the background. We can warehouse product for you. We can anticipate. We can talk about orders in advance. We can have it ready and staged waiting for you. I can get it here in 6 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours or 18 hours. I can have it sitting on your floor before you even need it. That's not the issue. The issue is what was causing their delays. Okay? I want to solve that issue. Because now we've knocked off the price. We've knocked off the quality. We've knocked off all of these sort of things. They weren't asking about that. They asked about time. And when we talk about asking the right questions of ourselves, of where do we want to go, and how are we going to get there, what's our end destination, what I find a lot of times is that we're not even answering the questions that are asked of us, giving the right answer to their right question. And if you can start recognizing this in your daily life of the inbound stuff that you're getting from people, and you realize like the motivation of why they're asking you this question, what's buried behind the surface, or what story is waiting there, what sort of insight can I get from these people, what are they going to open up about? And if you can start getting that information and start seeing it and giving the right answer to that right question, then that's where the magic happens. The light bulb goes off, and you can start asking the right questions of yourself. What do I need to anticipate? How do I need to evolve? How do we need to forecast so that we can be better prepared? And that's something that a script can't do, guys. That's something a script can't do for you.